tour of the Grand Caravan. Finally happening. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna start with the kitchen. Before we enter, curtains are so important to me because people will do that. When they do, they'll be met with darkness. But I wanted to do double curtains so that inside it looks nice and pretty, cozy, calming, bright, and happy. So I do double curtains throughout the van. As far as the sink goes, I picked up a cabinet and I will put up photos of what it looks like prior to renovating this. But I picked it up at a thrift store. I think it was $6. I painted it and added this little thing. I don't know what it's called.
Literally a paper towel holder.
Paper towel holder? Paper towel holder? I added the plumbing. And you have an option to either let the water out or put it in a gray water tank, depending on where you are. Your holding tanks are in here. You can have 2 liter or 2-gallon containers, which is one of them here. Very convenient to use inside and out. Underneath is storage. And then on top here, you have more storage. I just have random things right now. I normally have soap right here and sanitizer, but I don't know where they are right now. We just got this van back from the renter. And then
this little guy is just for decoration. I do love my plants, so I wanted to just put one on there on the entryway.
Okay, there's a hole in there. Normally I have a fridge and I'll show photos
up on the screen with the fridge in its spot.
But sometimes renters want to take it out. They don't want to use it.
And opt to using that space to store their other belongings like a purse, shoes, luggage, food, clothes. You can put all kinds of stuff in there, which is A-OK.
All right. Over on this side, there is another hole. However, this hole is filled with a toilet, which is very useful because you can actually sit in there comfortably and do your business, obviously with your curtains closed, and it's very convenient. It's probably one of my favorite parts of this van. Along with storing the toilet in this hole, you can also store various things when the toilet is not in use or even when you're using it. So I put this little cubicle in here that has, air freshener, has wipes and
trash bags and whatever else.
And then over here, there's more storage. And even behind the bed, that's plenty of space to store extra blankets, a bag, whatever it is you may need to store. In a minute, I'm gonna walk in and show you guys the kitchen area, but first,
I'm gonna turn the lights on. We'll also cover electrical in a little bit. Here's the kitchen, you guys, where
all the magic happens.
All right.
Continuing on the cabinet, I put a little bit of tile on the back just to make it look nice, and then this aluminum guard, I really just threw it on there just because I thought I didn't want water splashing everywhere, but really this thing is not going to splash water anywhere. Anyway, I thought it would be a nice addition. Back here I put magnetic strip for whatever. So I use it for when parked, you know, just for easy access of items that I am using at the time. However, I highly advise my renters to take everything off and store it down here, because if you're ever involved in an accident, it's not just your coffee or a drink that will spill. So I advise everyone to just stow things away and take that extra precaution. Yeah, so definitely don't do this. All right, moving on to the shelf cabinet. I had no idea what I was doing here. This is what it looks like now. Had no plan. I was just kind of going with the feel. Just for context, this is what it looked like before. All right, so behind all that pretty stuff, there was this. Oh, rather, there still is that. Basically, the AC heater unit is back here, and a speaker, and wires, and holes, and all kinds of stuff. I insulated it and framed it, and that's what I ended up with. Really, again, had no plan, but it worked out. Now, what's in front of that window is a piece of plywood that I cut out to shape and framed it on the glass, rather right in between the frame of the window. And then I fixed it to the van. It's pretty secure there. So that gave me a lot of room to work with as far as building out the shelf and having a strong workspace to hang stuff or create a shelf and whatnot. All right, I'm feeling pretty good here. I'm looking at how things are coming out and, you know, taking form, and I'm tired, but I'm feeling pretty good. Now to brainstorm what to do next. I ended up putting that little blue shelf for, I don't know, anything, candles, plants. Added those 2 baskets, but left out that space for random things, or I guess counter space or whatever it is. And then down there, there's a storage that I was talking about. I took the opportunity to use that little space for her bookshelf. And of course, a plant. Anyway, that red container I picked up at a thrift store for like 50 cents. It's like one of those Valentine's containers that you fill up with chocolate and whatever else and give it to somebody for Valentine's. But anyway, I figured I'll use it as a bookshelf instead. All right, I've had a couple folks ask me what those white vent covers are for, and they are for the AC unit that I mentioned earlier. I kept it in just to have that extra heating and air conditioning in case of extreme weather. That's always nice to have. And so the bottom vent cover is for the fan, and then the top one I redirected the tubing up there so that it vents atop. All right, moving to the back, or rather through the back, we have the curtains, of course, and I put both of them on a bungee, on separate bungee cords. Pretty easy, and I just kind of found holes and just put the bungees through there. And I am just showcasing here some storage where I keep food for my renters, dishes and things like that. You can see a couple of spice containers and cooking oil and all the good stuff. And that's just a crate, like those crates I had in my house laying around. I decided to utilize them for the van. And then there is a motion sensor light that is rechargeable by USB. And onto the storage underneath the bed, I keep a container down there with blankets from my renters. There's a 12-volt blanket that I always have with me. I'm always cold, so I assume everybody else is always cold. But I think there's about 1.5 feet underneath the bed, which provides, there's extra room even
after keeping that plastic container down there, there's plenty of room to store another large item down there. All right, here's yet another vent that vents out air out. And up there I have the charge controller, which the wires come down into what I call my ghetto garage. Down here I store my battery, wires, and electrical stuff. I have my fuse box, which is connected to the LED lights. I have my backup camera hardwired to it. I also have a tiny little inverter. I didn't really want to get a large inverter and waste money on it because my electrical uses are very low. So I got a little one instead. And on this platform, you can store more items on top, since really rarely will anyone need to go down there. So that's bonus storage. As far as the ports that come with setup, you have 4 USBs and 3 12-volt. You have 1 110 and a couple more USBs. Ample amount of plugins for you. Okay, over here we have more storage. In here I keep stuff like, jackery, jumpers, random stuff, just a bunch of random things. You guys, this bed is so comfortable. I will put a link down below where I purchased the bed, since I've had people ask where I got it, because it's really cool. It tilts so you can sit up and just chillax. Chillax, do people still use that word?
Yes.
Okay. Because I took out the original lights that came in the van, so when you open the doors, normally the lights would turn on, but I disabled those lights and I threw them in the trash. I am bad. I have filled up the lentils. I am sorry. I will make up for it, I promise. But because of that, when you open the doors, you're met with darkness, and so I installed a switch over here. So when you come in, you can turn this off and on, but not eliminating the entire cabin. That's for later, when you're getting ready to go to bed or you're getting ready to cook. So that switch is over here. And that is wired to the battery back there. This is wired to the house battery. So there goes that. But I really like how it turned out, and I really love the vent. The wood is not perfect. I have gaps that I don't like, but at the end of the day, this was really, 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 did I say really? This was really hard to install because there are just so many curves and nooks and crannies, and it was challenging, but it was a lot of fun at the end of the day. So that's the roof story, that's the lighting story, and then on top of the roof I will show you the solar setup and the vent cover. So it's basically one 100-watt solar panel that I put in the back. I used U-bolts and secured 4 of them, 2 on each side, and then I installed the vent fan, which was the first thing, part of the first thing that I did. I spray painted it black because I had a guy stop me once and say, "Hey, you left your purse on top of the roof," and I go, "Oh, thanks." But that's not really why I spray painted it black. I was going for that stealthiness, and I think it worked because no one has stopped me since. So hopefully that really did work. But yeah, I'm just copying my husband's idea. That solar panel, actually, he's the one that spray painted the edges black before he passed. And I don't know, we used to have it on the white van, and we've used it for the last 4 years and have never had anyone knock on the window. So I don't know. And sometimes people get surprised when I tell them that I have a solar panel on the roof. So who knows? Maybe it is working. All right, guys, I know I've missed something, maybe a couple of things. So here are some photos, some random pictures of the van that you may or may not have seen. I'm really interested in knowing what you guys are interested in seeing from my channel. Would you like to see step by step of how I did this build? I really don't have a lot of photos. I regret not taking photos as I built. I took some, but not enough. But do let me know what you would like to see on this channel.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching and for checking out my channel, for subscribing, for liking, for the support. It really means a lot to me. I would like to continue doing these videos. I do have another project coming up. If you have any questions at all, please leave them behind, and I check all the comments, which I get about 1 or 2 per video.
But really, thanks guys. Bye for now.